time for us to make use of our database, which is SQL in this case. So what is SQL? SQL is a standard language for accessing and manipulating databases. It stands for Structured Query Language. So it lets you access and manipulate databases. And it became a standard of the American National Standards Institute in 1986 and of the International Organization for Standardization in 1987. So what can it do? So why do we have to use SQL? Okay, so SQL can execute queries against a database. It can retrieve data from a database, it can insert, update, delete. It can also create new databases, create new tables, create stored procedures, create views in a database, and we could also set permission on tables, procedures, and views. Okay, so let's proceed now to our SEM control panel. Okay, and we're going to start Apache and MySQL. And let's access it through our PHP MyAdmin. Okay, so we only have to type localhost /PHP MyAdmin. Okay, so here, when we want to create a new database, we select new and then we type the name of our database here. So in our simple project, we're going to create a simple employee management system where we can store the information of our employees. So we're going to name our database as, let's say, employee, or no, let's say employee database. No. there are so many P's. Employees DB. Okay, and let's just select collation and create. Now we have our employees DB here. So as you can see, there is one employee DB, but this is not where we're going to make use. We're going to make use of employees DB. So inside this database, we're going to create our table. So maybe we can name it as table employee. Okay, and number of columns, let's just set it now for like 4. But we can also add and delete some columns if we want to after this. Okay, now we are under table employee. Now we can name our columns or our fields here. So we can have our employee ID, our employee last name, employee first name, and what else? Employee birth date, and we can add one column, and let's say employee email. Okay, employee ID is an integer. Let's say value or length of the ID would be 11, and auto increment. Okay, so let's set this as auto increment so that every time we add an employee, it will just generate an automatic employee ID. Okay, so last name would be Varkar255, first name Varkar255, birthday date, and just leave it as is, and Varkar255. Okay, now we are all set. And let's just click save. Okay, now we have our table here under the structures tab. We can now see the table that we have created as well as the fields under it. So we have our employee ID, employee last name, employee first name, employee birth date, and employee email. Now we're going to proceed to our coding with PHP. Okay. Now let's create a folder inside h2docs. Okay, so go to C, find SAM, h2docs, and now let's say EMS for Employee Management System, or EIS, or it depends on you on how you're going to name your folder. Let's just say EIS for now. That's for Employee Information System. So this folder is where our PHP files, our Bootstrap files, CSS files, JavaScript files will be stored. Okay, so also we're going to open brackets. Okay, and inside brackets we're going to drag our folder here. Okay, so inside brackets here, inside EIS, we're going to create a new folder. So let's call our folder includes. Okay, inside our includes folder, we're going to put a new file, and we're going to name it as db. So in db.php is where we're going to put our codes in order for us to connect to our database. Okay, so let's start with this one. Let's maximize this. Okay, now we have our table here, right, under our database name employees DB. How are we going to access it? Okay, so let's start coding it. So now we're going to establish a connection to our database. Of course, we would start with our PHP tags. Okay, and then close it. Okay, so how are we going to establish a connection? We are going to make use of the function or the method MySQL connect. Okay, so what are we going to connect? Okay, so we have these 4 parameters. Okay, so we have our server, okay, directory, which is root, okay, password, which is, as of now, we did not put a password in our database, so I'll just leave it with double quotes, and your database name. So is it employees or employee? That's employees DB. Employees DB. Okay, so again, these are the 4 parameters. Localhost is your server, root, directory. Okay, so your password is empty as of the moment because we did not set a password in our database, and this is the name of our database. Okay, so let's put it in a variable, and let's name the variable connect or connection, or it depends on you on what you're going to name your variable. Okay, in our case, this is a variable which holds these values. Okay, so if not connection, meaning if there is no established connection, what will happen? Okay, let's say die, connection failed. Okay, and connection failed, and then concatenate. Okay, connection failed, then MySQL connect error. Okay, and close. Okay, and save it. Okay, so we're going to make use of this one later when we connect our different interfaces with with our database so that it would show the data inside our database. Okay, so for now, we're going to make use of Bootstrap because we do not want to spend time on designing, because what we're focusing is that how we can add, how we can edit and delete data inside our database. Okay. So let's say our savior, Bootstrap. Okay, Bootstrap, and what are we going to download? So this one. Yes, we're going to download this one, compiled CSS and JavaScript. Okay, show in folder, and just cut it and paste it inside. No, just here. Paste. Okay, and extract here. Okay. Okay, just delete it. And just copy the folders outside, paste, and delete this one. Okay, so now we have these folders. We have CSS, custom made by Bootstrap for us, so that we're not going to worry anymore about how we're going to style the page. And we also have here the JavaScript and our includes folder, which contains our database codes. So we're going to make our index file. Okay. So find in the file. Let's say index.php. Okay. So HTML. So when we hardcode it, we start with HTML and then head, tags, title, body, and all. But this time, we're going to make use of Bootstrap again. Okay, so let's go back to here and documentation and starter template. So just copy this one and paste it here, save. So what do we have here is, this is your HTML doc type. This is our head section, which contains the title here. So we're going to find the title. If we're going to run this, so let's say localhost / name of your folder, which is in our case inside htdocs we have EIS, and it's inside the index.php file. So by default it's going to look for the index.php file. So that is localhost EIS / index.php. Okay, so where is the title, using the title tag, where is the output located? Okay, this portion which says hello world is this one. Okay, and how about hello world here? So inside your body tag, okay, this is what's inside your body tag, is where you can find h1, okay, or hello CSIS. We're about to make use of our knowledge in SQL. Okay. Okay. So this is H1 inside your body tag. Okay. So what we have here is already the custom links from Bootstrap. Okay, so Bootstrap already has given this codes for us so that we could access the files which are inside. Oh, what happened to CSS? It went inside includes. Okay, inside here, okay, and inside here, which is, of course, if we would be typing all of it, it would take maybe days. But Bootstrap makes our life easy. So Bootstrap already designed things for us, and we can just grab it from its library. Okay, so okay, this is jQuery links or scripts, and as of now, this is what we are trying to manipulate. Okay, and how about this one? This is the link to our style sheet, but this style sheet is of course linked somewhere in the internet. Okay, so if you do not have an internet connection, this design will not work. That's why we downloaded offline Bootstrap, so that anytime we want to access it in our computer locally, we can access it. Okay, so supposing we want to make use of some examples. Okay. So that was just demo. Control A and delete. Okay, save. Okay, so what are we going to make use of? So maybe this one. Okay, so inspects or no. View page source. Okay, and let's copy everything. Control C and paste. Control. Okay, so what do we have here? Okay, so this is the head section. Okay, this is the body section, which contains the navigation. Okay, okay, and this is the main section, which contains a container which says something like this one, Bootstrap starter template. Okay, page 1 Bootstrap starter template, and use this document as a way to quickly start a new project and so on. Okay, so this is in this paragraph. Okay, and this is probably the bottom section or the footer section. Okay, I'm going to make use of this one, the design with the jumbotron. Okay, so inspect elements, but we're not going to make use of all of this. Okay, so view page source, we're going to steal their footer. Okay, and this is it. After main, okay, there's a footer. Okay, and paste it here. After the main, and paste it here. Okay, save, and let's run it. Okay. Oh, see? It did not work out so well. It's because in this part, in Bootstrap core CSS, it's looking for here. It's looking for a reference which says /docs 4.5 and so on, but we do not have this file, right? What we do have is a CSS folder which contains this file. Okay, so we're going to change that. Okay, so let's say, so under our EIS folder, we have a CSS folder. Okay, let's just extract the CSS folder and call bootstrap min.css if we have it here. So we have bootstrap min, probably this is this file, bootstrap min.css, or cascading style sheet. Save and run. Okay, so this is what is given us. Okay, so we use this document as a way to quickly start and so on. Okay, and it also gives us here the footer. Okay, so let's modify the footer. Company, BSIS, or let's say copyright, BSIS 2017, let's say 2020, 2025. Okay, and F5. Okay, so we have our footer here. Okay. So if you wonder what this part is here, this is our navbar. Okay, so inside our navbar here, we have different links. We have home, we have another link here, another disabled link here, okay, this one, and we have a drop-down link here. Okay, but this is not the very important part of our lesson. What we're going to do is that we're going to display here the data inside our database. Okay, so this data uses document as a way. Where can we find it? Use this here. So this is the main section of our HTML file. So you can also know that because it's named as main. Okay, so you have here div for division, and inside it we have h1 bootstrap, starter template, and paragraph, use this document, and so on. Okay, so just select save or Control S. Okay, so now let's go back to our database or SAMP and look for a place DB table, and we're going to insert some information. Supposing we have, like here in employee ID, we do not have to write anything because it's auto incremented. Last name, let's say Butter. Oh, this is so small, we're going to maximize. Butter, first name Harry, birth date, let's say let's say 1989. Okay, and email harry@hogwarts.com. Okay, and just go, and we can add another one. Okay, going back to insert, and let's say last name, save here, then first name Charles, birth date, I don't know, 12/19, let's say 1990. Okay, email xavier@google.com. Okay, and select go. Now we have two records. First is of Harry's, and second is of Professor Xavier's. Okay, what we wanted to display is that we want this data to be displayed in this page. Okay,